welcome everybody to Enter the Bunker. Thank you for joining us as we are launching into Thriving here. We are going to be doing weekly challenges and helping you to build your own personal bunkers through building bricks. And today we've got a very special building brick that we are going to be talking about. This week, we are actually going to be talking about an awesome building brick, and we'll be getting into that soon. My name is Jonathan Bahai. I am the co-host here at Enter the Bunker. I'm also the owner of the 64,000 square foot nuclear bunker, which you have just entered. And of course, I am married with 2 children, and I have lots of amazing things to say about these various building bricks to help you build your amazing own personal bunker that is going to help you to thrive in today's world.
And I am Kelly Cadell. I've worked here for about 3 years, and I'm super excited to be talking about this building brick of the week. I think it's a very good one, and I'm super excited to get into it. So, what is the building brick of the week?
The building brick of the week is sort of like what's behind us.
Yeah, that kind of looks like a brick.
Well, it's a really big, round one. Yeah. Does anybody at home know what that is? Because it's pretty ominous looking, I think. But actually, it serves a very important function here at the bunker. It is actually at the front entrance, and it's what we call a butterfly valve. Did you know that?
Yeah, and it's in the man trap.
Yeah, it's in the man trap. So what this does is that because we're in a nuclear bunker, and of course, you need to be able to have certain types of systems to control how the atmosphere works. This butterfly valve would close once somebody came into the man trap in order to keep radiation from being able to come into the room, right?
I've actually seen it in action before. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's very loud.
It's very loud. It's very terrifying. We've scared many people with it. It's very fun. Yes.
It is. So the building brick of the week is...
Hope.
Hope.
Yeah.
I'm excited to get into that. So Jonathan, what is hope to you?
Hope to me is something it's almost like something that's built into us in order for us to be able to plow through various things in life, right?
Yeah.
It's like you need to have those things that just make you want to be able to go forward. I kind of think of hope almost like your own little, like whenever you see a rainbow, you know that you see like all these different colors, and you kind of become inspired by all the different colors that are created from the reflection of the light.
Yeah.
I think hope is almost like that. It's almost like your own personal rainbow, where you just got the reflection of the light just kind of happens, and you get inspired by it, and it makes you want to be able to move forward.
Right.
So
I hope all of you can join us on YouTube. So if you're watching on Facebook or Twitch, join us on YouTube and chat with us live right now. And it's at Enter the Bunker. You might as well follow that Instagram too after the live show. Yes. So hope is an emotion. Hope is emotional. In fact, some scholars believe it is linked in the meaning to hop in hopes that somebody will. Oh, so one sec. Blah 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 blah. Okay. Is meaning to hop in that someone who hops leaps to expectations, leaps in expectation.
you leap.
Right.
Yeah.
A feeling of expectation and a desire for a certain thing to happen.
Right.
Right. So chat, let us know what you think of that. Do you think hope could be linked to the meaning of hop? I feel like that's a good what's that called?
Analogy?
Yeah. Is that what it is?
So you think hope is like a rabbit?
I mean, you hop along, hop into hope.
Yeah.
Yep. So we have a quote. The quote of the day is by Anne Frank.
Ooh, and I'll be reading that today.
Yes, you will.
So let's get to the quote of the day. Anne Frank said, "Where there is hope, there is life."
Where there is hope, there is life. I feel like I've heard that quote before.
Yeah, and actually it sounds very scientific when you think about it.
Yeah.
Because
Deep.
the more that we're learning about the way the world works and things that we're discovering inside of just like our own world, like never mind space, like just everywhere, like they've recently discovered, for example, like they thought there was like no life in the deep depths of the ocean because it was just impossible, like the conditions would be so bad. But what they're starting to understand is that there's like actually, even in the worst conditions, life will happen. And when you think about that in the cosmic sense, the whole universe is hope.
Yeah.
Right? Like everything just has to keep on hopping along.
Hopping along, yeah.
Just like you said. And so where there is hope, there is life, which means that you're going to see life everywhere. And it's a
everything's alive.
It's a manifestation of the fact that hope is something that exists.
Yeah. So why is hope important to you, chat? And what gives you hope? Let us know in the chat and we'll read it off. And I want to know your ideas of why it's important to you and what gives you hope.
What gives me hope? I think what drives hope for me anyway, and it's funny because like when you talked about how the word hope is derived from hop, to move forward.
Yeah.
I think that having a dream really gives people hope.
Yeah.
And at least I think that that's something that drives me, is having a strong vision of something which is meaningful. And so with that, I think that gives people the hope to be able to go towards that, right? So they're moving towards something. So there's that hope of being able to achieve, right?
Yep.
And so through that, whatever comes along, right, you still have that hope that's going to push you through that. So for me, I think it's pretty much, I'd say that probably the biggest driver of my own hope is basically the vision I have for everything I'm looking to accomplish, right? Which is largely related to Pure Plays and what we're doing with blockchain technology and the impact it's going to have on the whole world, right? So that's all very exciting to me, and it's very big. Like I feel like it's going to make meaningful impact for like generations to come.
Do you think you can be too hopeful?
Can you be too hopeful? Can you be too hopeful?
Like, will it lead to disappointment?
Yeah, I think a lot of people, when it comes to wanting to be hopeful, there's that. Yeah, like you say,
it's a barrier.
Yeah, and some people say, hope for the best, expect the worst.
Yes.
Right? Or hope for the best, expect the worst, be prepared for the worst, or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
I know. Yeah.
But it's interesting that there's that saying, and some people really abide by that. But what is that saying really saying? Right? Hope for the best and be prepared for the worst. I'd say be prepared is better than expect the worst.
Yeah.
If you say expect the worst, then you're basically just nullifying whatever you're saying.
You're
about
manifesting
hope for
maybe
the
worst if you're expecting it. But if you prepare for it, I like to prepare better. I wonder I think that is a quote on its own too, isn't it?
That's a common saying. Yeah.
Okay, just a saying.
Hope for the best.
Right.
Be prepared for the worst.
Yeah. I can see that.
Being in a bunker, we kind of understand that pretty well.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to take a look at how to practice hope for How To Tuesday. How To Tuesday. We're going to throw something up on the screen here, and you're going to get to read it. So hope, express your feelings, look at the possibilities, not the limitations, become more spiritual, not just in the religious sense, and take some time for self-care.
What does take your time for self-care mean?
I feel like if, for instance, I had a day last week where I took time for self-care, but I also took time to do other things, but I needed that day, and I listened to my body, and I took that time, and I was like, I need this day, and I took that time. So I think that just means like, realize, be one with your body.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that gave you hope?
It did.
Wow.
It did, I think. Now you're questioning me.
I'm not questioning you. I'm asking, like, is your feeling, is your assessment that doing those types of things, like taking the time for self-care, actually gave you help?
Yes, because I hoped that my life and things were going to get better.
Right.
Right. From that, taking that time for self-care, it puts, how do I say this? I don't know, it gave me hope that better days are to come. Just because today is a crappy, or yesterday, or the whole week's been crappy, I'm hopeful that there's better days to come, but I have to take that time for myself and listen to your own body.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Right. And do you feel like expressing your feelings gives you hope?
I don't know how. How do you think that would give you hope, expressing your feelings?
Well, I guess if you can express what it is that you're like, if you're expressive of what it is that you're hopeful for,
Yeah.
right, then I could see it, then you're manifesting it, you're actually speaking it. Then,
It kind of goes into like, look for your possibilities, not the limitations.
right,
Manifesting,
right.
yeah.
Exactly. So I think that if you're expressing that, then that's going to help to strengthen your hope and your resolve
Yeah.
of the hope,
Yeah.
right? And again, going back to the possibilities and not the limitations, right?
Right.
So it all works together. You have to not just do one thing or another. You got to do everything to be able to strengthen your hope and build that brick.
Get rid of those negative emotions.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the only way to really get rid of them is to let them out.
Yeah.
Right?
Sometimes it's not so easy to do that, though.
No, it's not.
No. What do you think your best way to get rid of negative emotions is? Chat, let us know. I'm also going to come back because I see that you guys have let us know what makes you hopeful, so we're going to come right back to that. But what do you think is a way that we could let our viewers know to, what did I say? Oh, get rid of the negative emotions and
Get rid of negative emotions?
Yeah. Like, what's one way somebody could do that besides self-care?
I don't know. I mean, like you hear people talk about it's like, I'm going to have a petty day, and that's going to be like, that's going to be it, right?
Yeah.
So I can see where that could be attractive for some people, but getting rid of negative emotions really has to do with, I think, releasing them,
Right.
right? Because as long as you hold on to it, they'll just eat away at you.
Right.
Right. And then when it comes time to be able to actually have any kind of hope, you're just so worn down by the weight of these negative emotions that it just becomes harder and harder.
So
you
each
just
time
gotta
you
let it
think
go.
about what's possible, you'll feel like a rise in hope.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. All right, let's see what some of the chat said that it makes them hopeful, or let's just read it off. Stewie says, I was hopeful the Leafs would win Game 7 last night.
Oh, that was brutal. Yeah. That was bad.
Yeah, I actually have a funny joke that I'm just going to tell you guys because I thought it was hilarious. I watched it with my father, and at the end of the game, he told me that he's going to ask some of the Toronto players to be pallbearers at his funeral. And I was completely, why? And he was like, because I just want them to let me down one last time. And I was like, that is such a good one. I'm so saying this to people. That's hilarious. What else? Courtney says, my dogs give me hope. Abigail says, I hope for never-ending happiness one day. And for this week, I hope I get Twitch affiliate.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's exciting. Emily says, my dog makes me want to be a better person. That's definitely good. Why does that? Why? Why would your animal make you want to be a better person? I'm curious.
A better person?
Yeah.
Having an animal?
Yeah.
I think because you're caring for somebody,
True.
you know, and they're so utterly dependent and helpless without you that,
True.
that it makes you feel a sense of responsibility to being taking care of somebody else. And just that giving,
Yep.
like just having something where you're giving to somebody, to something else,
Right.
you have that sense of hope.
Right.
Yeah.
Courtney also says, taking a bath, getting a mani-pedi, meditation. Meditation's probably a good one because then we've talked about manifest, and we've said it like 4 times in this show, and that's kind of, again, going back to like the spiritual side. Doesn't always have to be religious, but yeah, just meditation and thinking of what you can be hopeful, and then it'll rise the hope, like we've said this. So
Yeah.
I think that's great, Courtney. Abigail says, music helps me think more positively and working out. Brandon, I want to be able to hug my family this summer and visit them. So he's hopeful of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Music is an interesting thing.
It is. I've actually, yeah, go on.
Because what's interesting about music, and I just learned this recently, is that of all the living things in the world,
Yep.
humans, us,
Us.
are specifically the only things that are on Earth that actually have the capacity for appreciating music.
Yep.
There's different kinds of, like all the different kinds of animals and whatnot, they'll respond to different elements, but they can't respond to all the elements.
Right.
And that we're the only ones that actually are capable of having that capacity for appreciating music. And it's got this, it's something mystical about it almost, like what it can do. you know, and there's some kind of connection of music that like to us as people, like with our souls practically. And I don't know what it is yet, but I've got this new appreciation for it, even though I swore off of music a long time ago.
Yeah.
Frankly, because it was doing bad things to me. but I mean, and
You
I
listen
think,
to different music.
and I
then.
think that I do think that that is not a good thing.
Right.
But I think there is a good thing to it, and there's got to be more to that. And if there's a way that we can be able to utilize that in our lives, that could definitely be a huge contributor to our hope.
For sure.
And then when it comes to like just being able to look forward, and like she mentioned about meditation and whatnot.
Yes.
I think that, you know, when you think about hope, for a lot of people, just the values that they have in terms of like they're hopeful that what they're doing now is going to give them more in the future.
Right.
Right. Almost like, you know, if I'm a good person now, I'm going to go to heaven.
Yeah.
Right. Sort of thing. That's a common belief with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
And
definitely.
that is, and it's that belief that actually drives a lot of hope for people that, you know, someday I'm going to be able to move ahead, and it's going to be, it's that hop, right? It's that, you know, whatever it is now, I'm going to be going to a better place.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. And, you know, everybody has a different idea or a different version of what their future, you know, of hope could look like.
Yeah.
But I feel like people, again, like music, are the only ones that have that capacity, right? Like hope is something that's unique to being human.
So true.
And
I've never thought of it that
we've
way.
never, and we just don't appreciate it, and we don't understand it very well, but it's something that really encapsulates a lot of like what makes life worth living.
So chat, tell us a hopeful story. And in the meantime, I want to hear a hopeful story from you.
A hopeful story for me.
Yeah.
Oh Lord. Hopeful story.
A hopeful story.
What would characterize a hopeful story?
I don't know. I guess maybe like a past story. It could be something that you hoped for before that maybe worked out or didn't work out.
Yeah.
A
So
hopeful story.
a hopeful story for me is probably, I want to tell the story of when I was getting shot at in Nigeria.
You know what? Yeah, because I bet you were hoping that you weren't gonna get hurt.
Well, here's exactly what happened, play by play.
Yeah.
And I'll give the short version because we don't have a lot of time. But
Yeah.
essentially, I was in a bus in Nigeria in the middle of the night and being shot at with assault rifles.
Oh, freaky.
So, and so what happens is the bus driver stops as
Yeah.
these guys are running towards the bus and firing these assault rifles at us at the bus. And I'm sitting up near close to the front too.
I'd be losing my mind.
So then he backs up, and I can't believe it. This guy, like, this is a giant coach bus. Like,
Yeah.
this is a massive bus. And he's backing up doing a good, like, 50 to 60 kilometers an hour. Like, it was amazing. I was like, wow, this guy's got skill. I was like, I couldn't believe he was
I
going
can't
that
even
fast.
back up in a car like
I
that.
know, right? And this guy was just flying, going full backwards, and we couldn't turn around because they set it up because there was a meridian in the highway.
Yeah.
And we couldn't move, right?
Yeah.
So he kept going until we finally got past those meridians and were able to turn around and bolt to the last checkpoint. And while that was happening, though, what was interesting, this is what I did. Everybody in the bus is freaking out.
Yeah.
Right? So I just got really quiet, and I closed my eyes, and I said a prayer.
Yeah.
And then after that, I was like, it's done. And then I just opened my eyes, and I was just like, it was like I was just sitting in a movie. I was like, now whatever happens, happens.
Oh my
And I
gosh,
was
you're
just
giving me
sitting there,
goosebumps.
And I'm just watching it, and I'm just watching it all happen, and everybody is freaking out on the bus. But to me, I was just like, I said my prayer. It was a prayer for protection.
Yeah.
And like, now that's it. Like, I had to have the hope that my prayer would be answered.
Right.
And by projecting that, by letting that, by not questioning it, I feel like that's what gave the prayer power.
Right.
Like, and that's something actually you have to do when it comes to prayer and meditation, is that you actually have to believe in what you're actually praying for.
Yeah.
Right? Because
That's so true.
Because if you actually just say it and then you're like, oh well, you know, and then that's it. You just like took away any kind of power you put into that, because you just like nullified it. So
Yeah.
so my story of hopefulness was saying a prayer while being shot at by assault rifles in Nigeria.
And then you just let hope take over.
And I let hope take over, and I just breezed through it. Like,
Yeah.
it was almost like just sitting back and like watching a movie. Yeah.
Me too, Courtney. They say I would have died of anxiety if that happened to me.
Yeah. Well, what they told me
I know,
afterwards.
you're making me nervous.
What would have happened was, because I was the only person on that bus that was white, because of the culture of the area that we were in.
Yeah.
And because it was around Christmas time, they said that if we had actually gotten captured by those bandits, they would have taken me, sold my organs on the black market, and my head would have been for the local chief as a present for Christmas.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm so glad that your prayer of hope worked for sure.
Yes, I'm glad.
All right, guys. So if you let us know in the chat here, I know a couple people have, what a hopeful story is for you. Be sure to follow us on Instagram because we might feature one of your stories there. But you got to write it in the chat for us to feature you. So tomorrow we're going to be looking at why hope is a very important building brick. And if you don't already like and subscribe this video and ring that bell on YouTube, be sure to do that so you get all the notifications. And we will see you tomorrow at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Fantastic.
Thanks
so
guys.
much, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye.
I'm hoping you have a great day.
Hopeful.